Hello everyone, welcome to today's FICCI COVID Bulletin. I'm Dr. Avral Roy from Medica Institute of Critical Care in Calcutta. Today I'm glad to welcome Dr. Sameer Parekh, Director, Department of Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences at Fortis Healthcare. He's an eminent psychiatrist and the Director of the Department of Mental Health and Behavioral Services. He's among the leading academic experts in his field of mental health and behavioral sciences. He conducts many training programs and courses for doctors, psychologists, and other allied health services, and is very, very involved and has initiated many campaigns for awareness of mental health in the community, both among doctors and among the lay people. He has played a wide role and a key role in enhancing the image of mental health in the country, and his views on the topic are very appreciated and widely appreciated. Dr. Parekh, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dr. Roy. Pleasure always.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here. So, we've all heard so much about COVID, and TV और news channel पे आता रहता है कि COVID के आज इतने cases हुए हैं, आज इतने मौत हुए हैं, ये variant आ रहा है, इस scientist ने ये बोला, ये vaccine काम करता है, ये vaccine काम नहीं करता, ये treatment काम नहीं करता है. इससे बहुत stress, बहुत anxiety होता है. इसके कुछ coping mechanisms हैं क्या कि ये constant influx of news and information जो TV से और social media से आता रहता है सर?
मुझे लगता है डॉक्टर रॉय, इंफॉर्मेशन जो आएगा वो हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, बट हमें पहली चीज ये देखनी है, वी नीड टू बी मीडिया लिटरेट. जब इंफॉर्मेशन आता है तो आप देखिए जो सोर्स है वो कितना क्रेडिबल और रिलायबल है. इज दैट अ डॉक्टर सेइंग समथिंग अबाउट कोविड और इज दैट समबडी नॉट क्वालिफाइड सेइंग, एंड दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन यू मस्ट आस्क योरसेल्फ. पहली बात. दूसरा जो मुझे लगता है बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट बात जो है, दैट्स ऑल्सो दैट इट इज नेचुरल टू एक्सपीरियंस एंजाइटी, खास करके जब हम हेल्थ की बात करते हैं. तो रादर देन वरिंग अबाउट अब क्या होगा, आप ये सोचो मैं क्या कर सकता हूं. सो आप क्या कर सकते हैं? वैक्सीनेशन, कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर, राइट अमाउंट ऑफ डिस्टेंसिंग, हैंड सैनिटाइजेशन, मास्क योरसेल्फ. अगर आप ये करते हैं तो आपको ये समझ में आ जाता है मैं अपने आप को बचाने के लिए जो कर सकता हूं मैंने कर लिया है. नाउ यू मूव फॉरवर्ड इन लाइफ. सो दोनों चीजें जरूरी है. इंफॉर्मेशन क्रेडिबल होनी चाहिए और दूसरा फोकस ऑन कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर. इट विल गिव यू सो मच ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस एंड इट विल रिलैक्स यू एंड यू विल नॉट स्टार्ट ओवर रिएक्टिंग टू इंफॉर्मेशन कमिंग एंड गोइंग.
So I think excellent point, sir. The first point that you made is to identify the person who's giving advice. Should he be giving that advice or is it just noise? And second thing, take back control. Understand things that we cannot control. We accept that. And then we move on to things we can control, like vaccinate and how to take appropriate behavior and not be irresponsible. Thank you so much, sir. Great advice. Second question. A lot of people are in constant fear that मुझे कोविड होने वाला है या मेरे क्लोज लोगों को कोविड हो जाएगा, और वो लोग बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट होते हैं अपने सुपरविजन में कि वो लोग हाथ धोते रहते हैं, वो लोग दे कंट्रोल देयर मीटिंग्स एंड स्ट्रिक्ट कोविड प्रिकॉशंस लेते रहते हैं. और कोई सभी न्यूज़ की कोविड केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, दे काइंड ऑफ वॉल देमसेल्व्स ऑफ एंड गो बैक इनटू दिस टाइप ऑफ आइसोलेशन और क्रिएट अ बैरियर अमंग देमसेल्व्स. पर इससे बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म में काफी एंजाइटी हो जाती है. मैं 1 साल से 2 साल से, मैं घर से 3 साल से बाहर नहीं गई. कुछ स्ट्रैटेजी है ये प्रोलॉन्ग्ड एंजाइटी को कंट्रोल करने में, कोप करने के लिए? हाउ टू डील विद इट?
No, I think 2-3 aspects. One, feeling anxious in these times is natural. हम में से किसी ने भी पेंडेमिक के बारे में पहले कोई जानकारी नहीं थी. हमारी जीवन शैली, लाइफस्टाइल पे इतना ड्रास्टिक असर आया है. हमारे फाइनेंस, इकोनॉमी, जीवन के बाकी पहलू फ्रॉम एजुकेशन टू जॉब पे भी असर आया है. तो स्वाभाविक है कि एडेप्टेशन के दौरान हमारे अंदर एंजाइटी आनी है. इट्स वेरी नेचुरल. आप ज्यादा और सही प्रिकॉशन लें. उसमें सही प्रिकॉशन की वैल्यू है, ज्यादा या कम की कोई वैल्यू नहीं. अगर कम है तो सही नहीं है, ज्यादा कर रहे हैं तो आप अपने आप को अगेन प्रेशर में डाल रहे हैं. जितना आपके बस में है, जितना हम कर सकते हैं हमें करना चाहिए. एट द सेम टाइम लाइफ के रूटीन और रिदम को भी कंटिन्यू रखना बहुत जरूरी है. जैसे हमने online education say we ensured that children have continuous some kind of a connect with school, with friends, with academics. So we were able to bring some rhythm and routine to their life. We all understand physical schooling का कोई comparison नहीं. Online education खास करके स्कूली बच्चों के लिए किसी भी तरह से वो compensate नहीं कर पाएगी. But it had a purpose to solve कि चलो आपका life आगे बढ़ रहा है. तो इस तरह से कीप मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, और जब स्ट्रगल करें तो किसी से बात करें, खास करके अपने सपोर्ट सिस्टम से बात करें. सोशल स्टिमुलेशन, प्लेजरेबल स्टिमुलाई, डूइंग थिंग्स यू लाइक, उसकी बहुत वैल्यू है.
Excellent, sir. So basically, if I'm to summarize your answer, we have to learn to accept this as a way of having to deal with it, but we also adapt and look at new avenues and new structures and how to create new social interactions to help us get over this. Just staying in isolation and expecting and waiting for things to necessarily go back to the way they were may not necessarily work, because things may not ever, that's an unknown and that's something we have no control over. So again, it comes back to taking back the control. Yeah, is that correct, sir?
Yes, control is with us. हमें लगता है control नहीं है, but essentially it's with us.
Perfect.
हम जो कर सकते हैं वो maximize करिए, और जो हमारे control में नहीं उसे accept करिए.
Correct. Acceptance is important, but also taking back things and identifying things which we can control.
Yes.
Very good, sir. My third question, and this I believe a lot of people who had COVID, who had to go to the hospital can identify with. You know, उनको एक type of post-traumatic stress हो जाता है कि मैं 10 दिन 15 दिन hospital में था, मैं oxygen पे था. You know, I could not identify the nurses. I could not be, everybody taking care of me is wearing a full suit. I could only see their eyes. And, you know, when they come back home, they have a lot of trouble stepping back into the world, you know, getting back together with their social gatherings and with their social interactions. How can we, the caregivers of such people at home and, you know, our friends and our family, how can we help? What are things that we can do to help them out with this?
I think first and foremost, don't judge, don't give an opinion, don't blame, don't criticize, bring a bit of compassion and empathy, and give space. Different people will take different time to realign and readjust to life. Everybody is not going to just switch it on and switch it off like a news channel that you are going through. That's not life. Some of us will take time, some of us may not take so much time. Either ways, we need our people to rally around us. Because all said and done, like I said earlier, we've not had an experience into this. It happened unprecedented, suddenly. And it came with a massive devastation to our way of living, and we've lost loved ones. We've gone through that. A lot of us have gone through hospitalizations. Our colleagues, Dr. Roy, like yourself, have been working right out there and have seen so much. So even health practitioners have seen a lot more in such a short span than they would have otherwise seen. So it's human that some amount of anxiety, for some people, it may have a traumatic experience. They may have recollections. They may struggle a little bit more. So yes, we give them time, we give them positive stimuli. But if you continue to struggle, then my advice also would be unmute yourself, talk to someone of what you are feeling and experiencing. That could be your physician. You could reach out to a mental health practitioner, but talk to someone, because whether it is through guidance and counseling or medications, you'll be able to help yourself if you're going through a struggle phase.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. So I guess what our viewers are looking for is, till when approximately do you think it is an understandable or adjustment? And when does it become that, you know what, you think, or you should talk to them, like, do you need help? Or when do we think that our close one, our loved one needs help?
If you feel that the quality of life, the functionality of life continues to be impaired, personal functioning, which is your own self, social, which is a relationship, occupation or work or academics, and you feel it's affecting your mood, your thought process, your physical health, your sleep appetite, and you aren't able to move forward, and let's say this distress level continues for a 2-week period, and you aren't able to start an upswing, then you should talk to someone.
Perfect. So I think that's perfect. So I think that's great advice, because, you know, when do you decide this is normal and this is like, I think that helps a lot. So this is a question that a lot of us are now wondering about. Schools are going to be opening after almost 24 months for what appears to be for at least some duration of time. A lot of our young children have not gone. Some of them, this is the first time they're even going to school. And for a lot of them, this might be the first time they're going to school after 2 years. Any advice to how to handle the social anxiety or maybe even separation anxiety that, parents and children are now going to come across as the schools reopen?
I think parents are a little bit more anxious and children really want to go out there. They've had enough within the four walls. They want to be on the playground. They want to be going out with their friends, and you're quite right. We'll have some children who may go through some anxiety, which would have happened even in spite of, even if COVID wouldn't have been here. So some children do struggle after summer vacations or when they start schooling, especially the young kids. How do we go about it? For all schools listening, for all parents and teachers listening, what is your goal one? Your goal one when we open schools is only to ensure that children find school a safe, happy, conducive space. That's your goal. Academics can come later on. Right now, physical stimulation, which is outdoor, social stimulation, which is friends and peer, and a positive experience. That's what we create. Now, for very young children, whether it is giving them transitions, gradual transition, which means coming on some days, lesser hours. If they're uncomfortable, they can go back, more outdoor, more physical. You can make it a little bit more flexible, little bit more wider in your rules, but the goal has to be very clear. Academics can follow, no hurry. Right now, focus on the positivity of being in a school.
Perfect, sir. I think great news, and I'm excited for children going back to school. It was one of the best days of our lives, and
absolutely. I want to see children with school bags. I want to see children in playgrounds. I want to hear that noise. And that, most teachers are missing a bit of a noisy classroom, aren't they? Like all of us are.
Totally, yeah. Now, or passing chits or being naughty at school. I guess that's the most fun part.
Yes.
So then coming to a similar topic, which is the reverse for the parents, right? How do you, in this era of work from home, how do you separate your work life and your personal life when the lines seem to have blurred even more? So, how do you get your own personal space? You could get an email at 8 p.m. and now you're expected to answer because anyways you're at home. Or, how do you do, you're living at home and your mother-in-law comes and asks you to help with the cooking when, you're on a work call. How do you deal with that?
No, I think let's put this in a perspective. Individuals can do something, but institutions also need to do a lot together, which means both workplace, individuals and home need to come together. And I'll give you a very basic thing. Fix up your workstation. It could be one corner of your room, but that's the only place you work. Every other place in your house should be a place which is your personal space. So even if it's a work call, come back, sit here and do it. Create a work timetable or a work window, which basically means your start and end time should be fixed. Neither do you delay it on either side. And third is ensure you take a lot of work breaks, which means because you're at home, that doesn't mean you don't deserve your break. After about 40 minutes or so, take about 10 minutes off. And during the course of the day, stay connected with your colleagues. Once your day is over, shift completely and avoid as far as possible something that is very important in these times to ensure that burnout doesn't happen and you don't struggle with your personal and professional space. This is where organizations will also need to support, because organizations will also need to say, hey, it's fine. If after 9 p.m. or 8 p.m., which is our hard stop time, if you've not answered a mail, it's okay, you can do that tomorrow. Same for families. Realize all of us are equal together and we all need to take care of each other's roles. Sometimes you do, sometimes I do. And that's how you create a balance. Balance is not only about individuals. All of us need to be in this together. So I've been saying this throughout COVID, together we can. If we are together, we can actually beat COVID big time.
Perfect, sir. So to summarize, basically, we both all need to work together, but we also need to be able to define boundaries, that where is work and where is my personal life, kind of to help blur, to prevent us from becoming, this diffusing into a nothingness. I know it is budget season and we're running short of time. if there are 5 things that you would like to say for mental health access and to protect mental health going into the next year, what would those be?
You said budget, I'll start with it. 1 in 5 people in the world suffer from a mental health issue. That's a fact in life. Health budget needs to look at this aspect, how many people are going to suffer, which are the common illnesses. You'll realize depression is one of the commonest illness. Second, telemedicine has been a boon for chronic healthcare like mental health. Telemedicine needs to be encouraged by everybody, healthcare providers, physician community, and the government agencies. Third, get insurance in mental health now. Fourth, ensure that mental health curriculums becomes a part of school and college life. And fifth, focus on media literacy across the board, and a special one, since I'm speaking on the FICCI platform. How about workplace mental health? How about this year, FICCI and all bodies of industries think about workplace mental health, because we need to work together to ensure the burnout impact does not happen. And beyond the EBITDAs and P&Ls, how about I give you one more measurement for food for thought, mental health outcomes at workplace. How about measuring that as well?
I think so, perfect. We should all learn from Bhutan, where they measure gross national happiness. Maybe we should have a barometer of employee happiness. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning into the FICCI COVID Bulletin. And remember, you can join us on social media with the hashtag FICCI Fights COVID. This is FICCI Health, FICCI COVID Bulletin. We are here every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Thank you so much for taking time out on your Friday to join with us. Thank you so much, Dr. Parekh. And thank you so much, FICCI, for this platform. We look